participant mute on entry. Okay. Is the screen visible to you? Fine. Screen is visible to you. Window, edit view. View full screen, Control L. Okay. Easy. Okay. Easy capture, easy note. Hello. I hope screen is visible to you all. Is screen visible? Yes.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yes. Okay. 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 Now let me start with hashing first. Right? What is hashing? We'll understand the concept. Then I will see what are different types of hashing. What are problems in hashing, and how to resolve or solve those problems. So what it says. So what I'm writing on this board is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Hashing. Now we know that we have linear search. Okay. Linear search. Normally, what happens in linear search? Linear search. If data is unsorted, if data is random, not sorted, then time complexity is how much? Time complexity for searching is O of n. O of n. Okay. If it is binary search, how much is the time complexity? The time complexity is O of log n, log to the base 2n. Okay. Now take an example. If I have some numbers, say some 1000 numbers, 0 to 1000. Then if they are random, in linear search, what it does, it checks each and every cell, and the time it takes to search depends on what? The size n. If n is 1000, it goes for 1000 times. If n is say 1 lakh, it will search 1 lakh times. So there is those many comparisons will happen. So that's why we call it O of n. O of n is the input. As and when n increases, the time complexity also increases here. What about if it is binary search? If it is binary search, we assume that the data is sorted. Then we check our key element whether we'll take the midpoint. We'll check our midpoint whether it is equal to A of mid. Okay. And if it is not equal, we'll check whether it is in first half or second half. Okay. First half or second half, depending on the key value. Then we will check only in between this case. Again, we divide it. We'll make the first half and second half. Again, we divide this one. We'll make the first half and second half. So by doing this, if you can see that for 1000 numbers, once we divide it will be, so 1000 is divided into two parts, 500. We'll check within 500. Then we'll check within 250. Then we'll check within 125. Then it goes to 64. Then 32. And 16. Then 8. Then 4. Then 2. And at last 1. So if you see the comparisons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Maximum you need 10 comparisons to check whether your number is your whatever the number. Now I am considering in this case is integer number. If that number is present within 1000 elements, if it is present in between in the first first comparison only, we might find if it is in the middle. In the worst case, we can find in the last position. And the element, if it is not present in the list, again we have to compare this for all these 10 comparisons. After 10 comparisons, we will come to know that the number is not in the list. Okay, so there are many applications where we want to search element within a specified constant time. We don't want O log to the rest n. We also don't want O of n. Okay, so within a fraction, within a constant time, I want to see whether the data I'm searching is present in the list or not. Okay, so let me take that hash function, they will understand. Okay, now assume what example we have taken. We have taken example of Aadhaar card. Okay, Aadhaar card database. So Aadhaar card database, suppose I have around 130 crore Aadhaar numbers. Okay, so what information we will have? We will have all the information. Like what is that we have? We will consider a key as Aadhaar number. Aadhaar number will be my key. Okay, and all my information will be there with this. So what information will Aadhaar card will have? It will have name of the person, then we'll have date of birth, then parent's name, address. Okay, we'll have address and what has happened to this? Okay, address. Then you will have your biometric information, info like your iris data, your fingerprints and all. So if suppose, now this is an example, I'm taking. It might be not proper, but this is an example where we can say that how the hash function works. Okay, suppose this is 13 digits. Suppose this is 13 digits. Okay, say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, is it 13? No, yes, 13. Okay, now what will happen if I use a hash function on this particular thing, on this particular value? What will it will do? It will directly go to a particular location. It will go to a particular location and check whether my key matches in this particular record. Whether it is matches. If it is matches, then we get all the data for this particular record. If there is no match with this key, if it is empty or this key and the number is not matching, then we will say if after performing hash function, the key will generate and will compare this key. If it is empty, that means this record is not there. If there is a key available and both match, what will happen? If both are matching, then if both will match, then we say that we got the record and we can directly read the record, key and Aadhaar number. Now what is this hash function? This hash function works like this. Whenever we apply for any given input Aadhaar ID, the hash function will generate output which is a key in the table. It might be an index, it might be an index of a table, it might be an index of a table where, like, we will take one example of the index example. Now take example. Suppose I want to maybe in this next slide we have that information, but we will just take this example. Now I will define formally. Then how you are going to define hashing? Hashing is a technique. Okay, let me draw. Say this is a hash function. Say this is a hash function. And we want to store some large amount of information. Okay, information. Maybe we will assume that they are at present integers, some numbers or data, whatever you can store. When you want to store this large amount of information, okay, that is given to hash function, and hash function will generate an integer number, and this can be the index of the table where we can store this record. Okay, suppose the hash table, if it generates say 5, and if my index starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, okay, then the information will be stored here. Take this example. If I want to store say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, name is XYZ, and the date of birth is something, okay, say 1900, and all this information, okay. And when I apply hash function, on this particular thing, key, okay. And suppose my very basic hash function is the division method, where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mod 10 equals to 5, remainder is 5, and I am going to store this into here. Then what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the key is stored here, the whole record is stored here, and all the information will follow here. After this, all that information, name and everything will follow. But what is important here is the key. Suppose these are normally called keys. This is key. A hash function is applied on the key, and we get index, the result, which is called address, of record in the hash table, or location, or you call location of the information, location of the information. So what is this called? The output is called hash table. This is hash function. These are the information or the keys where the large amount of information you want to store. So if you see this, so what is hash function or hashing? Hashing is a technique where we apply a particular operation on input data which generates equal width size output, which can be considered as a address or location in the hash table. Okay, in the hash table. So what is hashing? Hashing is applying a hash function or some operation, which is called hash function on input data, which generates a address or a location in the hash table, and the data is stored in the hash table. Okay, have you got this? Now what will happen? Suppose I want to store some information, like all this information directly, the hash function is applied, and it generates a address where directly I will store the data. store the data into that particular record with that address, okay. And whenever I want to search whatever the number, I will apply hash function, I'll get the output directly. I'll go to that particular location and I will access that data. So if I'm accessing say first location or maybe the last location, doesn't matter, the time is same. Hash function application time is same, and accessing data of the first record or directly jumping to the last record is also same. So that's why what we call the time complexity of hash function is how much? Time complexity of hashing is time complexity is O of 1, a constant time, whether I'm accessing the first location or last location or in the middle location, the time is always same. It doesn't matter what is the size of n. It doesn't matter what is the size of your data or hash table, because when I apply a hash function, directly I'll get an address location in the hash table. I have to jump it there. I will not search individually one by one linearly, or I will do divide and conquer method. Directly I will jump to that particular location. I will check whether the data is available there. Understood why the time complexity is O of 1? It is O of 1 because I am directly going to that particular location in the hash table and getting this information. Then what is the disadvantage with hashing? See, when we enter data, now you have to consider that I want to store large amount of information. I want to store. Then the same amount of hash table we require. So that is the problem. But most of the time, it doesn't happen. Hash table size is less. And data is more. So then what will be the problem? So if that is the case, then there are many information which might point to a same location. That might also happen. We'll take one example. Understood what is hashing? Why we need hashing? If we search linearly, it is O of n, time complexity. Time complexity is O of n in linear search. Time complexity in binary search is O log 2n, whereas time complexity in hashing is O of 1. O of 1, it is very quick. So that's why we use hashing. So let me take some example. Okay, let me take some example. Maybe we will visit some, we will visit what? Okay, we will visit PPT and come back here again. No, let me write here. Okay. So if I say hashing, so what are different methods of hashing? Okay. Now let me consider what are different methods. Then we'll see how to resolve them. One is called open addressing, and the second is called closed addressing method. Okay. Open addressing and closed addressing. But open addressing, so what are different methods? We'll say open addressing. Second, closed addressing. Okay. Now what is open addressing? Open addressing is also called as closed hash. It's also called as what? Or closed hash. And closed addressing is also called as open hash. No, they are reverse, isn't it? If you see this, okay. So what do you mean by this? In general, you consider if I have a hash table. Okay. Now what happens with open addressing? When a particular number points to, say, first number points to a particular location that is stored here, okay, and later maybe some other number some other number x256. Okay. Again, if it points to the same position, if it points to the same position, there is a collision. Okay. There is a collision. Then what we'll do? We have to store these numbers in the table. So what we'll do? We will search the next location whether it is free. Next location whether it is free. So this is called open addressing. This is called open addressing. Means what? If we can store input into hash table, if that particular location is busy or there is some other number present in that particular location, then we try to find the next location to store this information, next address. So that's why it is called open. It's called open addressing. That's why it is called open addressing. Okay. Then what is closed addressing? The closed addressing means what? Suppose I want to store information. I want to store information into hash table, into hash table. Then I will apply hash function on the first number. Hash function I will apply. Hash function is applied here, and I will go to particular location. I will go to a particular location, and that number, first number is stored here. Okay, first number is stored. Then what happens? Later, there is some other number, say x50. I want to store this number into hash table. After applying a hash function on this x50, it is also generating the same memory location. It is also generating the same memory location. This is first memory location, first address, and this is second address. Now, what is this called? If two keys generate the same memory location in the hash table, that is called collision. What is that called? It is called collision. So this is called collision. Okay, fine. Now, when there is a collision in closed addressing, addresses are closed. That means I will not go to the next memory location. There is no chance of going to the next memory location. So then what can be done? Then if the first number is stored in the location, then there is a linked list which is created. A linked list is created, and the number x50 is stored here. The x50 is stored into the same memory address, but second node, to the second node. So what is this called? This is called what? This is called chaining. This is called chaining, and this happens in closed addressing. In closed addressing, or we call open hash, if after generating after applying a hash function, if two keys are colliding or pointing to the same location, the first number is stored into that, and the second number is stored into the same location with a pointer of the first address. The first address is pointing here, and if there is a third number, there is one more number. If it collides to the same location, then that is connected to the same second number. So there is a linked list where this information is stored with linked list nodes. This is called chaining. Okay, this is called chaining in closed addressing or open hash. This is called closed addressing. In closed addressing or open hash, it is called as chaining. Got it? We'll take some example and we'll do it. Okay. Now, in the syllabus, it is also given what is overflow. If you see in the book, you will not get these terms properly. What is overflow? Overflow happens in closed addressing. Flow happens in closed addressing. Let me take a proper table and understand this one. Suppose, okay, suppose this is a table. Suppose this is a table, okay, and this is the primary key. Okay. Now I have a first number. Then maybe there will be some nodes. One node, first node, second node, and third node. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are called what? Slots in the buckets. Now this is not exactly key. This is the address. Oh my God, what happened? Okay. This is hash table. In the hash table, sometimes it is also called as buckets, and the first address location is, this is the location or indexing here, indexing. When a number generates a address and it is stored here, say it is stored into this particular thing, say first number, then we have second number, and this is pointing here, chaining. Second number points to third number points to fourth number, and fourth points to fifth number. And in the bucket, it is given that it will have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. 1, 2, 3, 5 slots, 5 slots, not more than this. Then I cannot store the next number here. I cannot store this next number. If it is, there is a collision. If the another number which comes here and it is full, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the 5 slots are full, that time it is called as overflow. It is called as overflowing in hashing. That means I cannot store this number now. See, there is a number, say x500. I want to store this number. Take an example. And if all the slots are full, it is called as overflowing. I cannot store this number into hash table. Okay. So whenever there is a collision and overflow, they occur at the same time. There is a collision because the two numbers are pointing to the same location, and this number cannot be stored into this particular table because it has only 5 slots and all slots are full. Then we cannot store this number. It is also called as overflow. Overflow. This happens in closed addressing, means addresses are closed. I cannot go to next location. Only in this particular address I can store. And if there is a slot, there are slots are free. This happens where? This happens in closed addressing. Closed addressing. Closed addressing. Okay. So collision and overflow happen at the same time. If these slots are free, if there is a slot, suppose I will take one more example. Some number is stored here, second number, and there is a number which is generating the same location. What will happen? This second number is stored here, and the next number, say 5000. There is the same location. It can be stored here. It can be stored with chaining. It can be stored with chaining. Now there is no, there is a collision, but there is no overflow because still we have some slots free in the bucket. Okay. Understood? That was closed addressing. That means when there is a collision, I cannot go to next location. There is a chaining. Okay. I cannot go to next location. There is a chaining. So closed addressing. Closed addressing. Hash function. Hash function. Input. Okay. And hash function produces a key. Okay. Or address or memory location. Address or location which is an index. Okay. And if it is stored here, after stored here, the first number is stored here, and up when there is a second input, one more input is given, say 5000, and it is producing the same memory location here. Then what is this called? This is called collision. If a hash function produces same memory location for two keys, K1 and K2, same location, it is called collision. In closed addressing, I cannot go to next memory location. I have to store here only. And if it is allowed to store this information with chaining, with number of slots, suppose there is one more slot available. Okay. That means extra one slot is available. I can store 5000 here. And if number of slots are, defined maximum 3, maybe this is first, we'll consider this as first and second and third. That means I can store one more number. This is a linked list. I can store one more number, and this is the end. Then this is null. I can store, say 1000. This is the number here. So 3 numbers can be stored here. 3 numbers can be stored. But later I get one more number, say 999, and it is producing the same memory location. Same memory location, there is a collision, and number of slots maximum are 3. That means I cannot store this 999 here anywhere. So what is this? Now here occurs overflow because this chaining is over. This is the maximum number of chain which is applicable. Now this is just an example I am taking. It depends on the system. How many nodes are allowed in a chaining? It depends on that. Okay, this happens in closed addressing. Closed addressing means once the hashing applies, we will store, or the link will be with only that particular address. We will not consider any other address in the hash table. Okay, this was closed addressing. Now let me take one more example with open addressing. So what is open addressing? Open addressing am I audible? Yes, everybody is silent. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Now what is open addressing here? In open addressing, what happens? Okay, now there is no chaining here. There is no chaining. Chaining is not allowed. We will apply hash function. Hash function is applied on the input. Hash function is applied on the input, and output is an index. Output is what? Again, it is this index or a memory location. Output is address in the hash table, address in hash table. Mostly it is index in the table. Okay, index in the table. So one address comes here and it is stored here. Say first number is stored. Now take example. Say this is now here in hash function, and in every hash function, now there are different methods how the hashing is applied. Okay, what are different methods? Either I can use division method, or say folding method, and there is one more method, but we are going to consider only the division method. We will not waste much time. Okay, because this is a small section in our syllabus, so that's why we will take only division method. We will not. What is folding? Folding means if there is a large number. See, this is a large number. We will divide it equally, and we take this number here, and we take this number here, and we add or apply some operation and make it to 1, 2, 3, whatever the same width. So we are folding it here. That is the information. We are using division method. Again, after folding, what we'll do? We will either divide or perform some operation. So that is folding. And one more method was mid square. Mid square. That means we'll take some information, some number, binary numbers, and we will calculate the square of the middle number. Square of the middle number, and we are not considering this. We'll take the simple example, which is division method. Okay, we'll take simple example, which is division method. We'll take division method. So what we apply, we'll take the simple method, which is division method. Now what happens? Now when the division method is applied, every hash table will have the size, which is m, and the simplest operation division method which can be applied is, suppose my hash table equal to m equal to 10, is m is 10, and the simplest operation division method operation is applied is, we take the input k mod m, in our case 10, in our case it is 10. Okay, now suppose I want to store some information. Say I want to store 5, 6, 15, 18 and 26. Say 26. So what is the first number? 5. I'll take 5 mod 10. So what is the location here? 5 mod is 10 is 5. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So maximum size is how much? It is 9. Maximum size is 9. Now, if first number is what? 5, 5 mod 10, 5. So 5 is stored here. 5 is stored here. Next number is 6. So I'll apply 6 mod 10. Answer is 6. I'll store 6 here. Next number is 15. Okay. So I'll apply 15 mod 10 and remainder is 5 here again. So 15 comes here. 15 comes here. So what is this? This is collision. So there is a collision. So after when a collision happens, now what is this example of open addressing? Now in open addressing there is no chaining. So chaining is not there. There is no chaining. What will happen? We will see whether there is a other location which is present, any other location if it is present in the hash table, we will store it here. So after hash function is applied, 15 mod 10, we get 5 which cannot be stored here. Then what will happen? We will check the next memory location whether it is free. If it is free, no, but that is also not free. 6 is present here. We will go to next location and we store 15 here. We store 15. So in open addressing, chaining is not applied. We will check whether there are any other memory locations which are present and vacant, they are free. Then we store our information into those locations. Now how we are going to see if there is a collision? If there is a collision, we'll check the next next location if it is free. If that is not free, we'll check the next one. We'll keep on checking next one. This is called what? Linear probing. Is called linear probing. Okay, there are different methods in open addressing. When there is a collision occurs, how to resolve. So when there is a collision occurs, the resolving is done using the resolving is done using probing. Okay, so what is probing? So when so resolving is done using probing. Probing is what? Searching. Searching if the next memory location is free. Okay. So first one is linear probing. Linear probing. Second is quadratic probing. And third is double hashing. Double hashing. So what are these? These are hashing resolving methods. Okay. Collision resolving methods. If there is a collision, these are collision resolving methods in open addressing hashing. Now why the term open addressing? If that address is not present, if the address is busy, we'll go to next address. We'll keep on doing this. We are not using chaining. So that's why open addressing and closed hashing, the terms are different. So remember only one term, either closed, you use say open hashing and closed hashing, these terms, or you can use open addressing and closed addressing. Always better to use open addressing and closed addressing. Open addressing means what? If in a particular in a hash table, in a location is location is it is full, we'll go to next location. This is called open addressing. In closed addressing, what happens? If there is a collision, if a number, if some values, some number is present in the particular location and the next number comes and it goes to the same location, as it's a closed addressing, we will not go to next address. We will not go to next address. Rather, we will form a chain, and chaining is used in closed addressing. Chaining is used in closed addressing. Now, I'm just explaining these things. I will share the PPTs. You have to read all those PPTs. Read those PPTs and you will understand. Okay. We will take some examples also in that. How to close this one? Have you understood what do you mean by hashing? Let me take it again. Hash tables. Hash tables, hashing can be applied within a given time, which is O of 1. So a hash table is an array of some fixed size, usually a prime number. Okay. The general idea is what we have a large amount of information. Let me, can I use annotation here? No. Annotations. Okay. We take maximize this one. Okay. Now see this. This is what. This is the information which I want to store, and this is the hash function. Hash function which I will apply. A hash function is applied, and you get the output. Output is stored into hash tables. Into hash tables. Okay. Now. Example, we have key space equal to integers, table size is suppose 10, then what is the function we are going to use? K mod 10. K mod 10, when you want to insert these elements, okay, how we are going to do this? We'll apply 7 mod 10, 18 mod 10, 41 mod 10, 94 mod 10. Okay, now take example, we'll take example here. What are hash functions? Simple and fast to compute. We will apply a hash function, a operation on the keys, and we get the output, which is the address. We go to hash table directly, access the data, and whenever we want to store the data again, we apply a hash function on the key. Like suppose a new person comes and we want to store his other information, we will read all his other information. Okay, and we will give him a particular other id. Then what I will do, on other id I will apply a hash function, and a location is created in the hash table. On that particular location I will go to that particular location and store this information of that particular person. Whenever the next time a person comes and I want to search his record in the Aadhaar, what I will do, I will take his Aadhaar ID, I will apply hash function, and directly I will go to that particular location and get the data. So operation is easy. I don't have to serially search his Aadhaar ID, or I don't have to use binary search. I will apply hash function, get the output, which is location in the hash table, directly jump to that particular location and get the record. So this is very quick, whether I am accessing the first record in the table or last record or maybe in the middle record, whatever record, always the time used to calculate the hash, calculate the address is hash functions, time to operate hash function. It is O of 1. So it is simple and fast to compute, avoid collisions. Now good hash functions are used to avoid collisions, but it is very rare that collision will not happen. Always there will be some collisions in the hash table. Have keys distributed evenly among cells, that is called perfect hash function. If we have what is perfect hash function? This perfect hash function is what? The perfect hash function will not generate keys which collide. Okay, okay. The perfect hash function will never if you use a perfect hash function, perfect hash function, perfect hash function, then there will not be any collisions. There will be no collisions. There will be no collisions, and all the keys are evenly distributed in the table. That means there is no collision. Now sample table size, we will take some example directly. I will upload this. You just read these things. Now you can see this. If there is a collision, what will happen? Collision resolution. Collision when two keys map to the same location. When two keys map the same location, the hash function table, that is called collision. Now how to avoid collision? Either using separate chaining, the first one, separate chaining, or use the second one, which is open addressing. In open addressing, what we use, either I use a linear probing, or I use a quadratic probing, or I will use double hashing. I'll use double hashing. Okay, so these are different methods in open addressing to avoid collisions, or not to avoid collisions. Actually, after collision happens, to resolve collisions. Okay, in closed addressing we use separate chaining. In open addressing we will use these three probing methods. Okay, now separate chaining, take this example. In closed addressing separate chaining, I want to insert what? These numbers 10, 22, 107, 12 and 42. Okay, now how it is done? Suppose the hash function is very simple hash function, which is a division method. Let me take this one. Separate chaining, all keys that map to the same hash value are kept in a list or bucket. Now let me see whether I can use annotation. Annotations are applied. How we can use annotations? Okay, leave it. So what will happen here? We use a simple method. Maybe next we have some examples. We'll see that. We'll go to example. Okay, directly we'll go to example. Open addressing linear probing. Now, okay, we will take different methods. Let me take this one here. Linear probing. View full screen mode. Okay. Now example, suppose I have values k equal to 200 numbers. I want to store this in a small table. Okay, hash table, and size is m here. So I will apply some function like k mod m, and I will get here data. So there will be lot of collisions. Now the characteristics of a good hash function is what? It avoids collisions. It tends to spread keys evenly in the array. It is easy to compute. So that are characteristics of a good hash function. But remember, it is very difficult to find a hash function which avoids collisions. There will be collisions because we have lot of information we want to store, and the hash table is very small. If it is possible to have hash table more than the size of the input key, then it is possible to avoid collisions. Okay, so most of the time computation time is O of 1. So what are different methods to avoid collisions? Collision resolution methods: linear probing, quadratic probing, and double hashing. We'll see only these things. Okay, and one more was what? Chaining. Chaining is applied in closed addressing. Okay, and in open addressing we use linear probing, quadratic probing, and double hashing methods. So three methods in open addressing are linear probing, quadratic probing, and double hashing. These methods are of the division hashing methods because the hash function is f of k mod m, k mod m. Now shall I continue for another 15 minutes? Shall I continue for another 15 minutes? Is it okay if I continue another 15 minutes? Am I audible? Am I audible? Yes, somebody can answer. I am audible. Okay. Shall I continue for another 10-15 minutes or we close it here? If you keep silent, I will continue. We will close. Okay, okay. So I will close it here. In the next lecture, we will see all these methods and close it. And we will also see, we will start with next unit, or we might continue with heap sort. Okay. So stop sharing.